our custom is that we do not eat meat during these days. However, for Shabbat, a person is allowed to have meat. So he brings down, there's a custom brought down to taste the food of Shabbat on Erev Shabbat. There's a minhag that a person should taste from the food of Shabbat on Erev Shabbat. Where does that come from? So he brings down a pasuk, To'ameh Hayim Zachu. Those who taste it, Hayim Zachu, the Zocheh, to have life. Brought down that one of the reasons why a person should taste it is that he should have an appetite. It should be something exciting, that he knows it's good food. So that's one of the reasons why a person should taste it, so it should be eaten b'ta'ava. It brings down from another place that anyone who tastes the food, as the pasuk says, Hayim Zachu Ma'arichin Lo Yamav, he has long life. And the reason is, Kedesh Lo Yichas Al Bnei Beito. So this way, you come Friday night, come Shabbat day, you're going to come to eat the food, and the food's going to be missing some salt, it's going to be missing some spices, you're going to get angry at your family members. So therefore, Hachamim, we're metaken that a person should taste from the food of Shabbat. So what happens this week? Since this week we're not allowed to taste from we're not allowed to have meat Friday, right? Nobody could have food to eat on Friday today. You could have pot food, you could have food that was cooked in meat pots. As long as there was no meat, it's not a problem. According to some, you could even have foods that were cooked with meat as long as you don't have the meat. Okay, but we don't do that. We hold that as long as the food was not cooked with meat, even if it was cooked in meat pots, it's mutar. So am I allowed to taste from the food of Shabbat, which is made with meat or has meat? Am I allowed to taste it on Friday for this mitzvah of, again, tasting the foods? So he brings down different opinions. There are those opinions that hold that a person should not taste it. Rather, he should give it to the children. Only to ktanim, little kids, let them taste it. Some say, let the ladies taste it. Some say, the third opinion, that a person can taste it and then spit it out. Don't eat it. And we have Shitat Hamovadia. Hamovadia brings down, Kivan, that the whole not eating meat is anyways only minhag. It's not halacha. It's not isur. There's a minhag. There's a custom that we don't eat meat during the 9 days. There are those that don't have this custom. There are those that eat meat all the way up to Shabbat Shehalbo. There are those that eat all the way up to Tisha B'Av. Only Tisha B'Av they don't eat meat. It's only a minhag. This was a minhag that was taken upon us. Again, it's our minhag, and minhag is something that's din. Of course, we hold like that. However, like I bear this din of, again, tasting food on Shabbat, he brings down, mutar l't'om be'erev Shabbat tavshilim shel basar shebashlim l'chvod Shabbat. Person wants to taste from the food. Again, as long as it's tasting, it's not a problem. A person is allowed to taste from the food. He brings down, you don't even make a beracha in such a case. If a person is tasting from food of Shabbat, he doesn't even make a beracha on it, because again, tasting food is not considered eating, and therefore, this is not under the halacha of eating food, so therefore, mutar, you can taste the food, you can have meat in such a case, and there's no issues. And if, let's say, we have leftovers from Shabbat, so he says, "Ha'ochel achar Shabbat mishiyurei habasar shenshalo mes'udat Shabbat yesh lo amal isloch." Those that want to eat from leftovers from Shabbat after Shabbat, he says you have what to rely on. Especially, he says, if you're eating it during Seudat Avirit, where you're having it from Melavim Malka after Shabbat. However, again, this is only if a person normally is accustomed to eating meat during Seudat Avirit. A person could definitely, if a person could actually wait and not eat the meat till after Tisha B'Av, that's of course better. A person should not eat the meat after Shabbat. A person should try not to. However, you have Shitat again, Hamovadia, who holds that you have what to rely on in case you have a lot of leftover meat. Person doesn't want to throw it at him, whatever it is. So in such a case, again, he has an opinion to rely on, and generally people try to minimize the amount of cooking for meat, so this way in order not to have leftovers after Shabbat.